Okay. Well, welcome in. Thanks for coming out. RADIN Dynamics hosting Preparing for the AI Agent Era in Manufacturing. We'll do some quick introductions. We'll do that now. All right. So, Shiv, you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hello, all. Thank you, Parker. I am Shiv Kodagal, CEO of RADIN Dynamics, and I'm very excited to be here with you all. We are living at an incredible moment in history, in human history, where AI is rapidly transforming the way we work, the way we make decisions, and ultimately how we as businesses succeed. So at RADIN Dynamics, we are excited to be part of this transformation and uh, to help organizations harness this technology and to drive growth and efficiency. This monthly webinar series from our end is our way to bring you the latest developments and practical insights from the Microsoft Dynamics ecosystem. Today, we'll be taking a deep dive with our experts panel, Parker and Jayesh, into the sales qualification agent, which is one of the initial agents which Microsoft released in the Dynamics world. We look forward to you all being part of this, and we hope you derive a lot of value from this session. Thank you, Parker.
Absolutely. And
Back to
Jayesh, you
you.
want to do just a brief description, and we'll do the full descriptions there at the end, and we can talk more. But
Sure. Yeah, sure. Hey everyone, good morning. This is Jayesh Patel, and thank you for joining us today. So hope you all are doing well. I'm working as a lead solution architecture in RADIN Dynamics, and I'm bringing more than 15 years of experience in IT industries. And since last 10 years, I'm working with Dynamics CRM and Power Platform domains. Thank you guys, and looking forward for the webinar.
thanks, Jayesh. He left out the part where he's a genius, but we'll get to that later. And I'm Parker Hendricks, VP of Sales. I am the plain speak guru. I'm the person who you'll typically interact with if you engage with us on a business level. But today's not a sales pitch; it's educational. And we're going to jump right in the interest of time. Like I said, we do have tons to cover. We are going to take questions at the end, but if you have something quick you want to address, just put it in the chat. If I'm talking, Shiv and Jayesh will be watching. If they're talking, I'll be watching. So we'll make sure everybody's questions get answered. But we will hang back afterwards to address any specific questions. With that being said, let's move on in. And I know it says manufacturing. You don't have to be a manufacturer to be in here. That's just typically who we service. But you'll see a lot of through lines. That's pretty much why we chose the sales qualification agent, specifically to demonstrate today, because everybody's familiar with sales terminology, and most organizations, no matter what you do, typically have a sales department. So moving on. So the agenda, how it's going to work today. We're going to isolate and talk about the problem. The first part of any solution is properly defining the problem, right? A lot of smart people have said that. I typically agree. So we're going to talk about the problem. Then we're going to address what we propose through our experience and with clients and a lot of research, what we can provide as a solution. In this case, it just happens to be agentic AI. And then if we've built enough value and you want to know about us, we'll tell you about us at that point in further detail. But let's get into the meat of the conversation first, because that's how I like to work, and I'm sure you can appreciate that too. First, let's talk about the problem. So in manufacturing specifically, and other verticals, we've got modernized systems. We've got CRMs, ERPs, MESs, SCADA systems, all kinds of very specialized platforms that you can use. The problem with all those awesome specialized platforms is they're spread everywhere. You've got fractured data. Your departments don't use the same systems in a lot of cases. Sometimes they might report everything to an ERP or a CRM, but then they use these little auxiliary things that make your IT department scratch their head or pull out their hair. So it's spread everywhere. Your teams have to compensate this disconnection with a lot of manual effort. I don't have to go into detail because I'm sure you can think of examples sitting in your chair there. Coordination becomes the bottleneck. These are the things that eat up the first part of our morning when we're compiling reports for our department head meetings. This is what takes time and leaves massive margin for human error because that coffee hasn't kicked in. So there's just a lot of missteps that can be corrected fairly easily. We're going to educate you and expose that technology today for all its greatness. The gap is orchestration. It's not capability. Your people are great. You hired them for a reason. Not everybody is a guru or is familiar with this concept of unification of data or one source of truth. So that's what we're going to go over today. It's really, and oftentimes not the operator's fault, not the employee's fault. It's just a knowing problem. So you won't be able to say that after today. AI agents now live inside of core systems. So a lot of platforms, we specifically are Microsoft partners, so we love Dynamics. But Salesforce, Dynamics, your SAPs of the world, all these systems and platforms have AI agentic capability already. Most of those things are remaining unused. So that's kind of why we're here today. But before we jump into the solution, let's get a little bit of context. Not everybody has been following AI as closely as we have. I'm sure there are some in the crowd that do. So we'll just go over the history real quick. The shocking thing is people didn't realize that it's been going on for a very long time. So on the left side, you're going to see 60 years. On the right side, you'll see 6 years. As you know, you're probably tired of hearing about AI. So thank you for staying with us today. But in the past 60 years, we've all had very, very gradual progress, right? So it's almost like you couldn't even tell it's off the baseline. But in 1956, Dartmouth College actually coined the term artificial intelligence. And 1997, Deep Blue beats the world chess champion. I remember that. That was a year after the 96 Olympics here in Atlanta, where we're at. Great time. And between 1956 and 1997, you had a lot of science fiction. You had Neuromancer, Snow Crash. You started to see Blade Runner, all these things. But we're starting, as we get closer and closer to the now, it's becoming less and less science fiction and more reality. So 2011, Watson wins Jeopardy. That was exciting. I remember that. 2016, AlphaGo beats Go, the Go champion, the biggest champion in the world at the time. And they did it a decade earlier than the AI analysts of 2016 had surmised that it could. If you're familiar with the game of Go, it's a Chinese board game that's as old as time. It is 1,000 times more complex than chess. And most people say it's a game of intuition. So to see it beat the Go champion of the world in 2016 was just mind-blowing. And a lot of people didn't believe it. But let's move on to the other side. 2020, you start hearing whisperings and mumblings of AI. The young kids have, while they're doing their GameStop trades and their cryptocurrency, they're talking about ChatGPT. We're all wondering what's going on. 2022, people start to take notice. You got a larger base. In fact, in 2022, 100 million users are using ChatGPT. So it's becoming a big deal. 2023, this is when you really couldn't deny the fact that you've heard about it. AI passes the bar exam, starts writing code. You see these deep fakes, the photos, the videos, all the weird stuff. It gets more publicity and it's growing at a rapid rate. In 2024, agents start executing tasks. Willow cracks quantum. We could have a whole nother webinar on quantum. It's one of my favorite topics. Going to be interesting to see what it does when paired with AI as it continues to evolve. And let's go to last year. Agentic AI Foundation openly and confidently states 57% of all work is going to be automatable. And in 2026, we're starting to see that. It's no longer rumblings and mumblings. And as we saw that slow grow for that 60 years, a lot of analysts are saying it's a hockey stick type of evolution. But a hockey stick, if you've ever played hockey, has a curve. It's not a big one, but it has a curve. I think it's more absolute vertical. It's hard for me to keep up, and I am consuming and digesting as much of the data as I can on AI. And 2026, super important, super cool. MCP, Model Context Protocol, all AI. It's kind of a universal language. So we're going to see even more rapid evolution of AI as we move forward this year. And just quickly to reference the statement, the gap between companies who harness this and those who do not, that gap is becoming permanent, and that is no joke. So we don't want that to happen. Competition is great for the economy. So that's why we're doing this for free, and we're going to give a lot of freebies out at the end too, just to make sure everybody doesn't become extinct, essentially. All right, so the math. These are some numbers. Like I said, we are a CRM company. This is not a CRM pitch. This is nothing to do with CRM, but we do have to talk about it because you can't have good AI with bad data. So we're going to start a little bit further, like we started with history, give you some context and a baseline. 55% of CRM and ERP software fails. Why is that important to AI? Think of CRM or ERP as the hub of the spoke. So you've got all these platforms that it connects. Your data lives in a CRM, lives in the Dataverse, lives in an ERP. That has to be properly connected. So you really have to be careful in how this is all set up, the foundation of it. And right now, stated data says 55% of the CRMs or ERPs fail. So you need to tag in your IT department, tag in an implementer, and make sure that you're in a good place to start that foundation. And next up, how effective can the AI be? Let's look at this next one. More than 40% of businesses use fewer than half of the available CRM features, which is a big problem when we're talking about introducing all these new tools. And for this, I'll tag in Jayesh. Jayesh, what do you think about that number there?
Yeah, I completely agree with Parker. Since I'm working since last 10 years, from our experience with many customers, we often see that organizations are only using the small portion of what the platform can actually do. Most of the time, they stick to the basic or traditional functionality with the system, even though system has many more powerful capabilities available into the system. But at RADIN, we try to approach the things little differently. We constantly keep up with the Microsoft updates and new release, and we focus on helping a customer take advantage of the latest built-in capabilities. Our goal is always maximize the value of the platform using the modern feature instead of relying heavily on the customizations whenever possible. And nowadays, we all know that Microsoft is strongly focusing on AI power capabilities. So Microsoft is introducing several intelligence agents designed to help teams work faster, smarter, and more efficiently. And this tool can automate your repetitive tasks, provide valuable insights, and ultimately help teams to deliver more value in a less time. So as in later today's session, we will be demonstrating the one capabilities of the one of the Microsoft built-in AI agents. So with that, I would like to hand it back over to Parker. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks, Jayesh. That is, I completely agree. Like boots on the ground salesperson that I started out as. Nobody gave me a guidebook to how to operate the tools that I was given. Most of it was just, hey, go figure it out. Your commission, you'll either sort it out or starve, and that doesn't have to be the case. There are people, companies, and online resources to help you there. And I remember being a young guy having to figure that out for myself. But let's get back to utilizing all the tools that are available. The next one is companies with strong integration achieve 10.3x ROI from AI versus somebody who doesn't have connected systems. Their ROI is in the 3.7x. The reason is you typically see an AI solution that is applied to just one department, one issue you're having, not the entire picture with a holistic grasp of the data that your organization has. Everything that you can feed carefully, securely, right? Siloed in most cases, siloed within your organization. The more you can keep that AI fed with, the more impactful it will be on its actions that you prescribe it to do. So let's talk a little bit about what we're talking about. Some of you may not be familiar with the disconnect we are talking about. So just a couple of illustrations really quick. So your company may or may not have all of these systems. Some of you might have more. Most of the organizations we engage with have these systems. So when you have a Google email and your MS 365, and you've got one AI solution. Your marketing department has to get 6 different passwords to log into your operations to get a visual on your systems. Your HR department is completely out on an island. Customer service uses a completely different platform for calling and transcribing. This is the disconnect that we're talking about. I won't go too deep into it because I got a feeling most of you do understand. But how do we change that? As in what we do, as somebody who implements AI, as somebody who does data unification, this is what we aim for: a beautifully faceted, beautifully precise, strong, connected system. Okay, so all of these things are together. They all reflect off of each other. It's something that is of beauty and increases effectiveness. So the nitty gritty. So before I get into the next little piece of information we're going to dole out, and this is probably the most impactful. This information is from Gartner, McKinsey, Harvard Business Review, Microsoft, and Salesforce. So what we're going to do is we're going to illustrate 5 individuals in 5 different departments. So 1 person per department. This is what time savings can be helped with the agentic AI. Or if you're not using agentic AI, this is what some of those reports are saying is time wasted due to the lack of automation. So we're going to start with a salesperson. I'm going to go through this line by line. I promise I won't drudge you through all 5 of them, but this information will be available after the presentation. And if you would like to see the cited sources, we can provide those as well. But let's dig into a sales rep. So a sales rep, a single sales rep, 40-hour work week can have 28 hours a week saved. We can save 12 hours of prospect and research that they're doing, and that's absolutely true. It's in my case, if I was selling ice creams, maybe not. I'm not going to spend a lot of time researching my clients, right? We're selling to manufacturers. I have to know organizational charts. I have to know if they've been in the news, how they operate, where they operate, how many locations, etc. Absolutely, that can take me per customer, per manufacturer, 2 to 3 hours, sorting through all that stuff, validating sources, and making sure I've got a total picture of the client before I make the call, because our clients deserve that, and I'm sure yours do too. They don't need their time wasted, and they don't need a guy that doesn't know what they do calling them and just kind of Hail Mary and Doug Flutie out there. 10 hours of note entry. Notes are super important. Our sales cycle is anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. So as you know, I've got to keep really good notes. The problem is if I get a sales call or if I have somebody that needs me to meet them in Savannah, Georgia, and I'm here in Atlanta, I'm jumping in my truck and going down there. I might forget to put the notes in I was just on the call with, right? That's bad. That's bad news bears, but it also takes a lot of time. 3 hours on proposals at least, depending on how complex your business is, and 3 hours for admin paperwork, logging my receipts, logging my hours, making sure that any subscriptions that I sell or have or licensing that I have is documented properly. All that can be saved. Okay, so that's kind of the platform. That's the structure that we're going for here. That's 1 person. I'm going to kind of fly through these because we don't have all day long, and neither do you. A shop manager, we can save 20 hours a week. Inventory manager, 18 hours a week. IT support, 1 person, 16 hours a week. Gotta love that ticketing system, right? Put those tickets in. Customer service rep, 17 hours a week. All right, so that's a lot of hours. We're going to do the math right here because I'm a visual person. So if we add 5 people's hours wasted or hours that could potentially be saved, this is what it looks like. We do the math, add them all together. That's 99 hours a week for 5 employees. If we're going to seek what an average per employee out of those 5 is going to be, approximately 20 hours. You got a 40-hour work week. That's not very good, right? That's a bad look for everybody. So we're going for the percentage, 49.5% of time wasted or potential time saved. So this is where we got to tag AI in. And this is what we're talking about today. The agents are available, and oftentimes you just have to plug them in. You got to turn them on. There's credit consumption to consider. We can talk about that in the Q&A because that is something that requires a little bit of research. But just know that this is just a visual from of Microsoft's agentic capability. So we tag every department: sales, supply chain, field service, finance, customer service. There's a lot of IoT stuff. There's something for every department you can imagine. They've done a really, really good job. But today we're going to focus on one because that's all we have time for, and that's going to be the sales qualification agent. And for this, I am going to stop sharing my screen and hand it over to Jayesh, who's going to kind of walk through the sales qualification agent. So all yours, Jayesh.
Yeah, sure, Parker. Thank you. Let me share my screen quickly. Okay, so is my screen visible for everyone?
There, yeah.
Okay,
See
perfect.
it? Can you? Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, sure. So as Parker mentioned, like we are going to showcase the capabilities of the sales qualification agent in this demonstration. So let me start with the quick overview how this agents works. So the sales qualification agents help sales team by automatically researching the potential customers and assisting with the initial conversations using the lead informations. So this helps sales team to save the time and focus on the most promising opportunities. This agent mainly work in two modes, research mode and the engagement mode. So let me first help you to understand how the research mode work with this agent. So in the research mode, whenever the lead will be generated into the system, either it is the sales representative person or from any other website or any other platform as the integrations, whenever the lead will be generated into the system agent will pick that lead and will start the analyzing and researching about the customer using the lead informations. So as you can see here, I do have already one lead record and agent already done the research for this particular lead record. So on the top, as we can see, we do have a summary section. So let me just expand. So this is a summary sections which agent done already research for the this particular lead, and we can see here this particular organizations is operate in the investment and the technology sector. These organizations has like 100 to 250 employee strength, current strength in the organizations. They are looking for D365 implementations for their organizations. And we do have some high level revenue insight as well. The lady Lang Holdings has 700 million in proprietary capital and history of more than 100 private equity. So this is about just summary for the research from the agent side. We do have the more research options which agent provide the full details about this particular organization and customer. So let me just open that. Okay. So here we do have the full research about this customer and this lead. So if we can see here, the full research is divided in mainly three sections: the suggested actions, then key insight, and deeper insight. So let's talk first about the deeper insight. So inside the deeper insights, we do have two major sections: company overview and the competitor insights. Let me expand the company overview. Okay. So this is more about the research by like overview of the company and the customer. When this company was founded in 2019, where is the headquarter of this company? What is the current strength of the company? Then in which sector this company is working or focusing, like e-commerce, technology, pharmaceutical. Then we do have some more details about the revenue insight as we see in the summary. So this is detailed research about the organizations. And we do have some news from the internet regarding these particular organizations. The good part of this research, at the bottom, we can see that there is a few reference link. So let's say in some time, a sales representative or sales team member want to know like what is the source of truth for this research and from where this agent do this research about these organizations. So they can refer this reference link for their knowledge and to validate the contents or data for the customer. Yeah, so this is about the company overview. We do have another sections which is competitor insight. So again, agent research about like who are the other players in the market who is providing the similar kind of services us. We are providing services in Dynamic 365. So who are the other players who is providing service in this domain? So we can see here some names, STL Tech. There is some talking points about that organizations, overview about that organizations, and SWOT analysis. We do have few more competitors, Avanet, and at the bottom we do have the Hitachi solution as well. So yeah, that way it is researching about our competitor and the company overview. Let me just go back on the top. So this was more about the research part of the organization or customer information. But there is one more important feature, which is a part of the research board, which is help to identify the potential of the lead. So as we can see on the top, these agents mark this lead as a warm type. And also agents provide these details. What is the reason and why why agent mark this particular lead as a warm type of lead? So here we do have those reasons. What is the reason for that? Why this lead is warm? So active inquiry about implementation process. Company has a strong financial capacity, but does not meet industries and size criteria which we are targeting. So those are the reason, and due to that, agent consider that as a warm lead. Okay, apart from that, we can see here in the key insight section, like till now, what are the actions happen with this particular lead? So we can see here the 4 email interaction happen between this duration on this particular lead. Customers show their expressions and willingness to install the solutions or install the Dynamic 365 implementation. So yes, agents will provide the key insight about the lead. Now I'm coming back to the top section, which is suggested action. So with the analysis and research of all the details, agent suggests the next action item for the sales representative and sales team member. What should be the next action item for them? So as you can see, the last sentence of the suggested actions, they mention please respond to the email and address the unanswered questions about the implementation timeline and the meeting, because customer looking for the implementations and the timeline for that. So agents suggest to like what is the next action item for the sales team member. Okay, so now let's look at this from the number perspective, how this agent can help. So let's understand how this can help for the both organization and the sales team. So in traditional approach, the sales representative may spend 3 or 4 hours researching and analyzing a one single lead. But if you look at the typical 40 hours work week, that usually means the salesperson can realistically analyze max around 10 leads or little 12 or something, right? So with the sales qualification agent, that research and analysis part can be completed in about an hour or even less. But beyond the time saving, there is another very important benefit, which is in the traditional approach. We will see the salesperson might spend several hours researching about the lead, but after researching, they will get to know like and realize opportunity is not good fit or not potential lead. So that's mean like valuable time was spent on something, but that may not generate the real value. So in that kind of situation, the agents help solve this problem by qualifying the lead using the BANET framework, which is budget, customer budget, authority, need, and the timeline. And this help quickly identify which lead have the real potential. And as a result, the sales team can focus on that time and the energy on the most promising opportunity instead of chasing each and every lead manually. So that's how the sales research mode can help us to boost our sales or research analysis for the sales team member. Yeah. So that was about one part of the agents, which is research mode. Now we do have the other part, which is engagement mode. So let me just give you first quick overview about the engagement mode, how exactly it is work. So in the engagement mode itself, when the lead generate from the any source like manually by the users or integrations or website platform, whenever the lead will be generated into the system, agent will pick that lead and will start the conversations with the customer through the email. It will interact with the customer to understand their requirement and also share the relevant information about the organization, our organization expertise, past experiences, and the case studies. An agent will continue that conversations by responding intelligently to the customer's replies using its knowledge base. And when the conversation which will reach at certain point where the customer will ask about like they are looking for something, implementation budget or estimated efforts to implement the solution or maybe product demonstration, agent will automatically identify that intent and will route that lead to the actual sales representative or sales team member to take over and continue on the engagement side. So let me just quickly walk you through how that engagement mode work with the agents. So let me just go back to the lead. Okay, so here we do have one lead in the system with the name Bruce Wayne. So here we can see in the timeline till now, what are the conversation happen between the agents and the clients? So we can see there is a 5 email conversation happen between client and the agents. So let me open the recent engagement. Okay, now let me just go back to the beginning of the conversation. Okay, so on Friday, 27th Feb, agent pick the lead and start the conversations with the agent, with the customer. So as we can see here, agent identify that Liang Holdings is looking for the robust CRM solution, and their focus is to innovations and the streamline the operation into the organizations, right? Apart from that, in the second paragraph, we can see here agents explain about or give the overview about our organizations and also showcase our capabilities related to CRM implementations. And also in the third sentence, we can see agents pick the one example from the case studies detail and showcase here like we have implemented this kind of solution for our one of the customer in the past and how we help them to save their hours into their organizations by implementing this solution. And very interesting things and the bottom of the email, you also agent ask about like availability for the customer in next few days to take a quick call with the customer. Okay, as we can see here, right? Now let me just go to the another conversations. So unfortunately, we didn't get any response from the client side on this particular lead for next 2 or 3 days, right? So agent identify that like we send the email, but we didn't get any response, any email from the customer side. So agent identify, recognize that, and send another follow-up automatically another follow-up email to the customer, and just ask again for this availability to take a brief conversation call with the customer. Now, on the Tuesday, 3rd March, finally we got the reply from the customer end, and customer mentioned about that like customer is looking for the duration or timeline to implement the dynamic solutions for their organizations. So when this mail received from the customer end, agent identify and recognize the intent of the customer and got the idea like customer is interested and asking for the estimations and timeline to implement the solution. So just agent send the thank you email to the customer and handed over this lead to the actual sales representative. So as we can see here at the moment, this lead is with the Jayesh Patel. So I am a part of the sales team member. So that lead will be assigned to me. And now actual sales team member will carry forward with these conversations with the customer. So let's understand how that help to sales team member. So until this lead is handed over to the sales team, there is no involvement from any sales representative and the entire process handled by the agent only. Once like agent identify that like this is a potential lead, client is interested to implement the solution, and then only they pass this lead to the actual sales representative. So this way like the agent will help the save time for the sales team members to focus on more potential lead instead of like chasing with any leads or random leads. Yeah, so this is one scenario. We do have another scenario with this negative intents from the customer side. So we do have here one another lead with the name Field Hughes. So again, similar way, when the lead was created into the system, agent pick that lead and start the conversations with the customer. Let me just open that conversation. Okay, yeah. So on Monday, 9th March, agent picked that lead and said, start the initial conversations with customer and and mention about that, like agent identify that TechBait is focusing on the improvement in the efficiency and in the construction type of projects. So based on the lead information and the customer need and industries, agent identify that and accordingly prepare the content for the initial conversations. So in the bottom side, in the second paragraph, also again, agent identify that and mention like how RADIN Dynamics can help to the customer to improve their efficiency to manage the project in the construction. So here they have given like different options how we can help them to improve their efficiency. And at the bottom, again, agent pick the one example from the previous customer and mention like how the Radin product helped them to resolve their efficiency problems and improve their performance into the organizations. So here, agent pick the details from the case study and give the one real-time example from the previous experience and from the previous case study. Okay, so now if you will understand the difference between the previous lead and these lead conversations. So previous lead has a complete different conversations on the initial email, and here we do have the different content on the initial conversation. So agent identify the lead informations and the customer requirement and the industry, and accordingly that will prepare the dynamic content using the knowledge base and will do the conversation. So it is not something like every time agents will send the like static content or start the same conversations with each and every customer. That will understand the customer requirement, customer industries, and accordingly will do the conversations. Okay, now just let me move ahead. Okay, so unfortunately, agent started conversation. We got the immediate reply from the customer, like customer is not interested at this time, but definitely if there is any requirement, they will reach out in the future. So agent identify the intent from the customer side, like customer is not looking for the solution at this time, they will reach out in the future. So automatically agent disqualified that lead and mark this lead as a loss status. So and disqualify that lead. Now, if you will understand in this scenario, there was no involvement from any sales team members or representative. They didn't spend any time on this particular lead, which is clearly demonstrate that like how agents help save valuable time for our sales team. So by filtering out non-potential leads, the agents enable the sales team to focus on more high potential opportunities only. So here we have a Parker. So I would like to know your thoughts on disqualification scenario, Parker, from the sales point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll move pretty quick because we've only got 5 minutes left. But um, disqualification, when I was over 45 sales reps and we had 2,100 leads a month, I wish there was something that would put all the disqualified leads in one bucket like that and do it kind of autonomously. Because I spent a lot of my time going through 2,100 leads every day and trying to make sure anything that was either designated as a bad lead from a salesperson or any new leads coming in, spent so much time that I could have been helping a sales rep increase their year to date or close a deal or help a customer who was having an issue. Instead, I was there sitting, clicking through every single lead, verifying that it wasn't somebody trying to buy or sell me something, So It's nice that this puts it in a very organized place where you can see disqualified leads and just double check. Human in the loop is still super important. We don't want to replace people. That's not our job. And the other thing, really, if like I said, we do sell CRMs to manufacturers. So if I'm driving 3 hours to Savannah to talk to a metal fabricator, which is that's my week sometimes, and I get a really fresh lead, and they really want to talk to me, I'm not going to answer a lead via email while I'm driving to Savannah. Just don't have that opportunity. I'm so happy to know that this is working in the background, at least filling in, and it's full transparency. It says it's AI, but it's doing the research and it's providing good responses to try to get these leads closer to the bottom of the funnel. So that's great. Jayesh, did you have anything else you want to show them on that portion?
Yes. So this is how we can take the leverage of the sales qualification agent capability to boost our sales into the organizations. And Microsoft also provide like several other built-in agents that can support in the different business functions, including sales, customer support, finance, and the other operational areas. Yeah, so that was about the sales qualification agent demonstration. So with that, I would like to hand it over back to Parker. Thank you.
Thanks, Jayesh. You're awesome as always. Let me get back over to the slideshow and let's share this real quick. So if you're a more visual person, I'll just pull this up real quick. This is the SQA. This is how things flow. So let me get back to it here. Just go full screen. So a lead enters the CRM. It could be from a trade show, manual entry. It could be from a form submission on your website. The AI agent is going to pick up that lead. It's going to begin research. Once it researches the lead, and what it does is it researches news, opportunities. It will look for missing information. So you know how sometimes you get a lead and it's got incomplete information. It will try to fill those fields with publicly available info. And then it's going to analyze, like, is this a good client based on your configuration of the agent? It's going to say, okay, well, this is a good fit, or hey, this is somebody trying to sell you something, not an actual viable lead. If no, it's going to disqualify it. If yes, and you have engage mode activated, it's going to generate outreach. If you only have research mode activated, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to test the waters, we actually suggest you do research mode only first. But if it does see a viable lead there, it's going to generate outreach. It's going to analyze purchase intent. It's going to follow up in a loop until it either reaches a set preset time frame that you configured in the agent, in which case it will disqualify. Say it's 90 days and no response, right? It'll automatically disqualify it, or it'll follow up in a loop until it sees these buying triggers, this buying intent, purchase intent, and then at that point it hands it over to the seller. But let's move on to the next one. The solution, plain speak. That's what I talk. Tech speak for any of my IT people. All the good stuff's on the right. Your systems get connected. Your data is cleaned and unified. That one source of truth, like we've mentioned a few times. We build the foundation and deploy the agents on top of it all. That way, the agents can do these menial tasks, this repetitive work that just eats up their week, and your people handle the work that grows the business. The customer engagement, the customer interaction, the brain power it takes to solve bigger problems. That's what they need to do. So we connect, we build, we automate. If you like, we support. That is completely optional, but we're always around. And since we're running out of time, I think we're going to have to keep it pretty brief. But Shiv, what did you want to say about yourself or RADIN?
Hey, thanks, Parker. Thanks, Jayesh, for going through this sales qualification agent. I just wanted to quickly introduce, for those who joined in late, I am Shiv Kodagal, CEO of RADIN Dynamics, founder and CEO. And at RADIN, we strongly believe that when businesses combine strong leadership with the right technology, we can unlock tremendous potential. Today, we serve as a one-stop shop for manufacturing companies looking to modernize and grow using Microsoft Dynamics 365. And our clients consistently tell us the value that we bring goes beyond technology. It is the expertise, partnership, and the long-term thinking that we bring to the table. with where AI is today, the real question is not how to replace these systems, ERP, CRM, but how to harness AI to eliminate the day-to-day frustrations and bottlenecks faced by your process experts and SMEs, whether it's sales, whether it's support, whether it's customer support, whether it's finance, whether it's supply chain. And that's exactly what we explored in today's session, and we will continue to bring the new value that Microsoft is producing to the Dynamics community through this series of webinars. We hope that the session today was valuable to you all, and we look forward to seeing you again on the future sessions. And we are here to help you with anything that you need in the Dynamics arena. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jayesh. What do you got?
Yeah, sure. So, like as I mentioned earlier, like technology has been a core part of my journey since the beginning of my career. So I started my professional path working with the C and C++ development, and now today I'm actively working with the modern AI platform and these Microsoft AI platforms. So over the year, I have seen a lot of transformation in the technologies, and it's always exciting to grow along with these innovations. And technology motivate me to build scalable solutions that help organizations work more efficiently and grow their business. So always looking forward to add value for the business by using the technology capabilities. Yep. Thank you, everyone.
Andy's a genius. He's very humble. I've never thrown something at Jayesh that he hasn't been able to figure out and make better. In fact, but yeah, Parker Hendricks, VP of Sales, 15 years automotive manufacturing experience, working on operational intelligence, efficiency, effectiveness, process and workflows. That's kind of my thing. I like everything. When I come into a company, they used to send me around to different locations to fix them, sort of a fixer of sorts, but I would build sales teams and build processes. So when this opportunity came up with RADIN and Shiv approached me, it's kind of a no-brainer because I am super passionate about operational efficiency at all levels, from a people level and certainly from a software and systems level. So glad that you guys are here. We do have some fun stuff to talk about really quick. The stuff that you might have come here for, I'm not sure, but the unlocks, what you get for free for being here today. Like I said, this is not a pitch. We're not talking about anything that we actually sell, but we are offering, since you came in today, free. We typically charge for this. It's a free AI readiness review. It's our normal system reviews, but with a few caveats. So we're going to assess your D365 environment, no charge. It takes about 2 weeks to do the assessment, get in there and provide a proposed solution and strategy. But we're adding obviously system health, data readiness, operational gaps. And then if you're interested in what agentic implementation would cost, we can give you, obviously once we have an idea of what your system and environment looks like, what status it's in, we can offer some estimates of cost. And then, from there, you can do what you want with it. Of course, we do all these things, but that's not why we're here today. And the second thing is, if you've got a really robust IT department, or if you've got a dynamic specialist within your organization, we're going to give you the SQA installation guide. That is the compiled, no nonsense. It's 14 pages, but it's no nonsense instructional of how to install the SQA, specifically the sales qualification agent specifically, into your environment. So even if you don't need us, we'll hand you the instructions. Like I said, it took us a long time to compile those things, but you shouldn't have to go through what we went through when it was in its infancy. So we'll finish off with a quote here: "A bad system will beat a good person every time." I like to read that: "A bad system will beat a good person down every time," because I've seen that happen. But you need to make sure your processes and your systems, that's where you start. You build your foundation, and then you evolve from there. The AI is the same. So you're going to build a great system, you're going to unify everything, and then you apply the AI solution. You talk to any AI expert worth his salt. You can join us at the Georgia AI Alliance in Sandy Springs. We meet once a month, or It's not an open group, but if you want to visit Georgia Manufacturing Alliance, we're talking about AI and its effects on manufacturing every visit. So just wanted to thank you again. We'll hang out for some conversation and Q&A if you'd like. But this is our contact information. Like I said, our offices are in Suwanee. I live in Dunwoody. I'm happy to meet people, love networking. And even if we're not going to engage in business, I still love to see how I can help your business or connect you with people who can. So please feel free to meet us. But yeah, thank you again. If anybody has questions, please stick around. And in the meantime, goodbye, everybody. And thank you very much.